I started to create content for myself and for my clients about half a year ago, and one of the biggest challenges that I faced was related to software and which software should I use. You know, the thing is, nowadays there are so many options to make a choice from, right? But it doesn't make it easier. It's like if you're walking into the restaurant that has like hundreds of items on the menu. The decision-making process usually takes way longer, right? And just like you watching this video, I was watching videos of other content creators and trying to figure out what software they are using, what are their solutions. And then through the trial of tries and errors, I figured out what works the best for me and my clients, and let me share those solutions with you. Let's wait not a minute longer, and here are my 5 essentials when it comes to content creation. People's attention span is record low, especially when it comes to the internet attention. So more and more we're getting used to hold our phone in a vertical position and watch YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, etc. And basically, if you're a content creator, you want to take advantage of this opportunity, right? So how do you do that? What tools do you use? And when it comes to short form content, my all-day go-to is CapCut. CapCut, it is a free software. It has a paid version, but as a beginning content creator, even if you're at that more advanced level, you will have enough features and functions in the free version that you'll be able to use them. CapCut has 3 versions of their app. There's a phone app, there's a desktop app, basically a client for your desktop, and there's also a web app that you can use on your computer. I know a lot of people like to use CapCut on their phones, and that's an option as well. I'm using a computer version of it all the time because it's just easier for me to edit it on the computer. And another great feature of the CapCut, it is pretty user-friendly and it's way easier to use than other editing software, so let me just show you. So first thing, you will open a CapCut and click a new project. Then you will just import the files that you want to add, and after that, here's your timeline, and you can basically just add those videos to timeline and play them just like that. So we have a video of a little squirrel right here, and let's add another video of a little goat right after the video of a squirrel. So now you already have a video. You have a squirrel and then you have a goat. And just like probably every video software, CapCut allows you to shorten the videos like that, or you can cut the videos like that and then delete this part. Also, you have the transitions tab right here that you can, add a transition. So now you can see they just change. But let's say you want to add a black fade transition and make it a little longer. As you will see, now it's like a nice transition between those videos. It already looks better. You can also add all those popular like TikTok or Instagram effects. So let's say you want a black flash effect, right, on the goat video. So it will be a black transition and then it's a black fade effect. Or let's say you want a vibration flash on a squirrel. So you'll watch it, and here's a vibration flash, as you can see. As I've mentioned before, this app has also a premium version that will allow you to use some more features and functions, and it will cost around $8 to $10 a month, depending on the term of the subscription that you're going to use. Compared to the pricing of other softwares, that's pretty cheap for the amount of extra stuff that you're receiving. So if you like some of those premium features, it can actually be a worthy investment. So far we were talking about CapCut for the short form content, but it can be also used for long form content, just like the same way as you saw me showing to you. So yeah, it is definitely a user-friendly editing app, and it is definitely an essential for me. Another thing, since we're already talking about short form content, let me share my second essential with you. It is Captions app, and it's basically what the title is saying. It's the app that helps you to create captions to your videos. I'm talking about dynamic captions, the captions that you see in the majority of the short form videos. Captions app is absolutely great, and it's definitely an essential for you. Let me show you how I use it and what I'm talking about. So here's me using the Captions app, and here you can see the captions that it has generated, and then you can change the color of these captions, the shape of these captions, and everything else. Other great thing about Captions app is that the creators of this app highly bet on the AI, and they implement a lot of AI into their app. One of the cool AI features that they have and that I'm using is automatic placement of the emojis. And I'll put one of my reels somewhere here, and you can see how like the little emojis popping up during the text, so that was all done automatically. Another absolutely amazing AI feature of this app that it can control where your eyes are looking. It is 100% game changer for the people who have some troubles looking directly into lens of the camera, or maybe some people who are reading from the script and cannot look at the camera all the time. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. What it does, it analyzes your eyes and somehow with the help of Hogwarts magic direct them straight towards the viewer. Pretty sick if you ask me. And the last cool thing about this app, they recently introduced AI function that basically grabs your long form content and automatically cut it into short form pieces. At this point, I would say that it's still pretty raw. They just introduced it and I tried it myself. It's like, it works but not greatly, so maybe it's still a little bit too early to use it fully. full time. But definitely I'll give the creators 5 out of 5 for creativity and for effort to implement AI and constantly improve the app. It's super cool, and especially if you do a lot of narrative content, this app is basically a no-brainer for you. It comes with a paid subscription. I think it's around $6 a month if you're doing the annual subscription, but I believe that it's a worthy investment. I'm using it myself every day, so yeah, I would definitely consider it if you're doing a lot of narrative content. When it comes to long-form content, as I've mentioned before, you can use a CapCut, but usually the creators choose between those 3 well-established options. It is DaVinci, Final Cut Pro, and Premiere Pro. My personal ultimate choice when it comes to long-form video editing is Premiere Pro, but as you would expect, each of those 3 apps has its own pros and cons. I know a lot of people love DaVinci for the quality of color correction that it offers, and Final Cut Pro probably offers a little faster render speed. But my choice is still Premiere Pro all day, and let me tell you why. So first of all, I'm a huge fan of Adobe products. I'm constantly using Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, After Effects, etc. So it just makes sense for me to use Premiere Pro, right? But besides me being just a fan of that, Premiere Pro offers a little bit more functions and features than other 2 apps, at least it looks like that to me. I personally feel that Premiere Pro allows you to do a little more advanced editing because it offers a little bit more functions and features than other apps, and basically that's a great solution for a long term, because with every other video, at least I'm trying to implement some new features, some new stuff, and you know, since I'm already using Premiere Pro, I know that all the stuff is available to me, I just need to learn how to use it, so that's definitely great about it. Another cool thing about Premiere Pro and the Adobe universe in general, that it has something that is called dynamic link. Let's say that you're editing a video in Premiere Pro. You can open the clip from this video in After Effects and in Photoshop, do some changes, and those changes will automatically appear in the Premiere Pro timeline. So that is pretty sick, right? And another great thing about Premiere Pro, that if you're using apps like Motion Array or Envato Elements, where you can have a lot of presets for video editing, Premiere Pro has the most amount of presets and templates that you can use. So here's we got Premiere Pro open, and from the first sight you already see that it's a little bit more complicated. We're still, you know, dragging our clips to the timeline, and as you can see, here's our goat. It's a little smaller resolution, but here's our squirrel as well. And basically what you can do, you can resize those clips just like in a CapCut. You can make them a little bigger. Let's make them a little bigger. And then you can do the same things. You can cut those clips, make them shorter, longer, do a little cut, remove the pieces from a timeline. You can add transitions. They're just located in different places, and there's different transitions available. So we have cross dissolve right here, and now there's a little goat, and now there's a little squirrel. Basically, you have way more functions in Premiere Pro. You know, you have a little better color corrections. You can see on the right side lumetri color. You can see all of those fancy effect controls, all of those thousands of effects, and all of the other stuff that is I just don't have enough time to cover in this video. But just as with the CapCut, there's a bunch of tutorials that you can watch, and after a couple of tutorials you will have a better understanding of what it is about. Alright, so let's say we have video editing figured out, and now we need to talk about the solutions for image editing or photo editing. As a content creator, you will need to take care of that as well, because you'll need to create thumbnails for YouTube videos, or basically just edit your images in a nicer way, etc. My choice when it comes to photo editing is not necessarily user-friendly. I would even say it's absolutely not user-friendly. And as you've probably guessed by now, I'm talking about Photoshop. Look, graphic design is one of the services that my team offer to the clients and that we're using a lot by ourselves, so it makes sense to use the best tool for that, right? But I'm not saying that you should start with that. There are a lot of simpler and free alternatives like Canva, for example. I used Canva for a long period for myself, and there's a lot of tutorials and stuff that you can learn from it. And even some of the content creators like Ali Abdal, who has literally 4.5 million subscribers on his YouTube, I know that he even did or still using Canva for some of his thumbnails, which is pretty impressive. And also, if you want to try a little bit more complicated photo editing but you still don't want to pay for Photoshop, there's a free alternative that I was using for a while, and it's called Photopea. Photopea is basically a simplified version of the Photoshop, but it still has a lot of functions that you can use, so it takes a bit of time to figure it out and learn how to use it. If you just need the basics of photo editing or want to start somewhere, I would highly recommend Canva, and then you can possibly start going to Photopea and eventually switch to Photoshop. But as I've mentioned, as a first step, I would highly recommend you to use Canva. As a content creator, you constantly need to come up with the new ideas and do a lot of research for your content, right? which luckily in 2023 there are a lot of tools that can help you with that, especially AI tools that will do the majority of work for you. My personal go-to for idea generation and for research is ChatGPT, which you probably already heard about. To quickly summarize what it is basically an AI chat tool that you can, type your prompt and it will give you an answer to your question. So let's say we want to stretch our body a little bit and we want some tips of how to do it properly. So let's say tips for stretching. And ChatGPT will give you a couple of tips. As you can see, it's a warm-up, it's target major muscle groups, static dynamic stretching. So there's already some information that it grabs all over the internet and gives to you. But then the thing with AI chatbots is the more detailed the prompt you will give, the more detailed the answer they'll give you. So let's say stretching tips before the basketball game. And here, as you see, it gives you more detailed stretching with some timelines right here. To start with a warm-up, dynamic stretch, focus on lower body, don't neglect the upper body. So it makes the answer more narrow and answers your exact question. So as I've mentioned, the more detailed prompt you will give to ChatGPT, the more detailed answer it will give back to you. However, if you're doing some research that is related to some historic data or historic facts, I would recommend to double check the ChatGPT after you use it. I heard from some of the people that it might sometimes give you false dates or false facts, and those same people recommended to use Bing AI chat to double check the facts, and they said it works great, so you might want to try that. And there you have it, guys. These were my top 5 essentials when it comes to software that I use for content creation. During the video, I also provided you with some alternatives to the tools I use, so if you like any of them, please feel free to do a little bit more of research and see if those tools will fit you. If you liked this video and found it useful in some way, it would help me tremendously if you would leave a like below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.